I just make a copy of this here so you can see what we're going to talk about here. So we're going to start with I mean, this is an important update, right? I think people are, well, we've, just getting around to getting the content put together for this. This new version of the Auto Builder is pretty dramatic. I mean, this is, you truly have a hybrid here between Algo Studio Pro and the strategy builder, right? Now, the appeal of the Algo Studio Pro is the precision with which you can create algos, right? But that for many people, it's a little bit of a trade-off, right? So it's like, oh, geez, I'm not sure how to do this, right? I've got to spend some time learning how to do it. Whereas the Auto Strategy Builder lets you get up and get running pretty quickly, but you lose some precision, some control over the algos that it's creating. What we have now with this hybrid is the best of both worlds. So I want to be sure that people appreciate how significant this is. So let's go ahead and just create something just very straightforward here. Now, as you look at it here, I don't know if this is released or in beta, but I'm pretty close to the front edge here. All of this stuff here, all of this is the same, right? Trading hours, news event, all of that's the same. What's new here is we have two things that are substantial here. Partly in the management criteria, we'll get to that, but the strategy template is the big piece that's new that TDI Dev has put in here. So let's go ahead and just open one up here. You see I've got a couple. Let's create a new one. Now, as soon as I do that, what I get here, and I'm going to my preference, I'm just so used to it, working with the logic designer. What I have here is Algo Studio Pro within the Auto Strategy Builder. I'm not sure people appreciate that, meaning that I have all of the precision and the control here of Algo Studio Pro in terms of creating an algo within the Strategy Builder. Right. I mean, truly a hybrid. So let's just do something. Here we'll just do something super simple. Let's just do an EMA. Right. Nothing crazy. Let's do a 21. Right. It's not one that I use often. So greater than, less than. So price, right, is greater than the 21. And then let's just do another one, and let's have the 21 greater than. Let's go ahead and let's do an SMA just for kicks, just to have for a little variety. And why don't we do an SMA 200, right? This is a common, oops, not a 2000, a popular setup. A lot of people that do 20, 200, or 21, 200. So all we're saying is that the 21 is above the 200, right? So that's Algo Studio Pro, right? That's Algo Design. Now we're not getting into all of the complexity that's available to you in Algo Studio Pro. We're just do something very simple. So the idea here is that these conditions, this is what I want in my algo. I want it to pay attention to these, no matter what I'm optimizing for. I want those conditions to be met. Now, of course, in the strategy builder, you can put EMA, SMA in there and have it go to work trying to find combinations, but you lose the specificity of that control. So this is what I want. Now, you could optimize for those. I'm not saying you couldn't, but if you had a particular combination, or in this case, a couple of EMAs or an EMA, a couple of moving averages that are important to your trade analysis or your the criteria for your model to enter the market, right? Or what you want the algo to do. Well, you can control that. This is now very specific within the strategy builder. Now, of course, you can get pretty complex here with by changing to some of this, by changing to, groups and conditions and ifs, thens, and that's. I mean, there's a lot of horsepower here that I think for many people that are getting started with Algo Studio Pro, it's been a little bit of a hurdle because if you don't have a background in it, there's a learning curve here, which means time, which means you got to commit the time to learn it. Well, here now we can take something basic like this where we have that control, and now with that I can go and start to add into the strategy builder. So I'm gonna leave those in there and say, okay, so I guess I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna oh shit, I need to save that. Whoops. Nah. Okay, there's a boo-boo. Oh, and let's do it again here. Well, at least you get the duplication here. Greater than, let's do
You also need to add the random GA blocks, Sam.
yeah, I just
Okay.
I'm a little confused here. Okay, so price is greater than, let's do it again. Oh, come here. Uh, Hang on a second. Now I'm hurrying. Price bar. close greater than the current bar's new. Why am I not getting
Can you put it back to price and then to new?
price?
Yeah, and now new.
Don't have new here.
Now switch from price to new again.
There we go. Okay, right. Okay, there we go. That was confusing me. So nice to have Irwin on these when I need him. 21. Okay, so there we go. 21. Greater than, less than. And we'll add the second condition. Fortunately, I can edit this out. So let's do the 21 is greater than the new. I'll do it again. SMA. Let's do the 200. Okay. Now, so that I don't do that again here, I'm going to save to library. Correct, Erwin? Greater than, less than. Yes, I'm going to save to library.
Now you still need to add the random GA blocks.
Oh, well, okay. I was going to do that one at a time. Okay, so we'll go here. Now we're going to go to add some of the the auto strategy builder horsepower here. Now, when Erwin first showed this to me, he created three of them just for demonstration's sake. We could kind of do something similar in the context of what we're adding here. We can take grouping. So it could be, for example, we could do something that's volume based, something that's oscillator based, and something that's ATR based or volatility based. So we can let's go ahead and do that again. Let's do a couple of these so people can see the horsepower of this. Okay, so I have those now. When I do that, what that means is when I click here, I have the capability now. I'm essentially now you're seeing the blending between the strategy builder and Studio Pro. So if I now go click here, now all I did was just click to the right of it and I go manage. Now I'm back to ASB. So let's do that. So let's do I'm going to go ahead and use one of ours. I'm going to use Devil's Volume. I'll make that mandatory. I'm not going to do any optimization. I'm just going to click that in there, and then I'm going to manage it again. Let's go. Oh, let's so that's no, let's good for that one. Let's go to the next one, and let's do something that's let's do this is one I like. I like Woody CCI, but let's also do let's make that optional. Let's also do an RSI. Let's do a Stoke RSI to be different. Again, I'm not going to optimize it here. I'm just going to keep a couple of those, and then let's do well. That kind of covers us on. Oh, let's do a Williams. Let's do a Williams R, and allow it to pick whether or not it's going to use any of those. So I've got those two now as well, and I'm going to go to the third one, and let's do an ATR. Let's use that. And I'm definitely I wanted to use that, but let's also use one of ours, Devil's Friend, that is ATR based here. And let's have it include that. All right. So just you can go back here and review and see what you did. So under the first GA, I've got I'm going to use Devil's Volume. Under the second one, I've got oscillators, three different oscillators here. I'm not specifying, but I could, right? So if I wanted to, I could specify. Would you suggest I do one? Erwin? I don't know
Well,
if you were
actually,
inclined.
the mandatory here doesn't really do anything, I guess. But
Oh, I thought
those,
it would say it had to use that when we went to optimize.
yeah, but it doesn't really do something in this case. Because what happens here is that those first two rules are your fixed basic strategy rules, right? Those will
Mm-hmm.
always stay intact. And the
Yep.
other three, those will be filled in by the auto strategy builder. So it will just generate a strategy, including your base rules and filling in the others by itself.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, since it's just three separate rules, it doesn't really matter if you make them mandatory or not.
Okay. Okay. Good. That's good to know. Right. I'm learning as well. Okay. So as we come down here, do you want to go right to GT here? Or should we go
No,
right there?
let's first just press generate so
Right.
people
Okay.
can see what's now happening and then
Okay.
understand how it works.
You want me to tweak any of this, or
Just press generate.
just
I
go with
think,
it?
yeah, I
Okay.
think they know all
Yeah.
the other options already.
Okay. We'll get so this will be 24/5 and see what we get here
Yeah.
and we'll get some action. So what you can see over here as it's developing and it's going through the learning process, you can see that in that if we were to click through any of these, it's using those first two conditions. It's always going to use those, right? We're above the 21 and the 21's above the 200. So no matter
Yeah.
which we click on, those conditions are always going to be met. Where it's randomizing and where it's trying to find the best solutions are with the three GAs, the general algorithms or the genetic algorithms that we asked it to consider. So you can see it's working through. Here's one with Devil's volume is rising, and the Williams percent R is rising, and ATR is falling. Right. So those are randomized conditions, and we can see like, okay, well,
Hi,
we're off to a decent start here with
how
these.
you
Now,
doing, Ed?
let's
Lady, how you doing, bro?
let's mute anybody who's got their mic open. Okay, so we can see a couple of things here. Number of trades, right? I've only got 30 days of data so that didn't get stuck with a long optimization process. So likely, well, here's one we have over 100. Remember that's our target to get to at least 100 trades before you consider trading it. But our top one's only got 53. It's kind of a pretty abrupt little climb here. This still got some time to go here.
Sure,
Um,
yeah.
but let's see. We got a question here. Do you want to take that one, Erwin? You want to see if you can
Yeah, I'm not
question
sure
this?
I fully understand the question, but what we are doing now here is basically like in previous versions of Auto Strategy Builder, you had zero control about the strategy being built. You could influence all the optimization parameters, but not the strategy itself. So you press generate and it created some strategy. Now, what you can do is you can say, well, I have a thesis or a base strategy I want to use, and I want Auto Strategy Builder to build on top of that. And that's basically what we are doing here. So
Yeah.
Sam created a thesis, a base strategy of two EMAs, and we asked Auto Strategy Builder to build on top of that and add three random rules which it thinks based on the indicators we gave it, and to come up with a profitable strategy. So that's what you're now seeing. It's combining the fixed rules we gave it with the three rules it can fill in themselves. And of course,
Right.
this is just a simple one with a list of rules, but you can make it much more complex with ands and ors and flip-flops and basically everything you are used to do in ASP yourself. You can use now in Auto Strategy Builder, and of course ask it to to optimize or put in its own rules as well.
Okay, we got a couple other questions coming in here. But these good, right? We want these questions, so to help you understand. Okay, so this is Zachary's asking, would best practice be for a GA to be certain kinds of oscillators? Well, best practices, right? I guess is open to interpretation. I mean, you can understand the premise of what I was trying to do there was have something volume related, something an oscillator related, and something ATR and volatility related. So I don't know that there's necessarily a best practices, just some variety. So you wouldn't want to have a GA that was doing three different oscillator groupings, or for example, or three ATR, or three volume, or whatever the case may be. So some diversity there. And I use three as an example. It doesn't have to be three. Maybe one, maybe five. Right? It's just up to the individual. There is no best practice, but not overlapping the thematically, technically what you're doing seems to be a base case for best practices. Would you agree with that, Erwin?
Yeah, yeah, and it all depends on your strategy. I mean, I spoke with another customer of ours this morning, and he had a strategy which enters on the pullback. So it was trend following strategy. It watches its some EMAs, and then during a pullback it enters. So that part was fixed and it was already working pretty good. But he said, I want to enter on a pullback on an order flow based signal. So What we did is we took his strategy, entering on a pullback, and we let the auto strategy builder add two new rules based on the footprint plots to discover which of the order flow signals worked it best in his case. And that's what you can do right here. You have your base
Shoot.
strategy and you add new stuff to it to improve it. And let's auto strategy builder improve your strategy.
Let's see if it'll let me. I'd have to go back. I'd have to showcase that. Should I show them that?
Sorry, what do you
We
want to go back?
should I show them using the footprint in it because I think that's pretty powerful.
No, that's not needed.
No, that's just too
I
much.
think they will get it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So because we've done videos before where I just highlighted every footprint parameter.
Yeah.
So you could do that. So you could go to the GA, put in footprint plots, highlight them all, and then it's going to go through all of those plots relative to whatever you're trading and give you the most profitable version after it runs through its 40,000 different strategies. Okay, so I think you guys get that. So this is if you change them, right? So now that's going to give me something entirely different. So if I was going to load something here, if I went to whatever you're changing, here's something I did the other day. So now if I go manage selected here and I go to what I was using before, it's going to give me a totally different result. So let's work down here because this is also something really substantial that's one that I previously did. Let's talk about something very powerful that Erwin has just added into. Is this ASB or ASP or both?
Both.
It's in both now. There's some complexity here, so I'm going to let Erwin speak to that because he
The
came up
GE
with it.
score, yeah.
Some
I
do
will.
some
But let's first
re,
answer some of the questions
okay.
before we move to the next topic. So why did we put in three different GAs? Just for demonstration purposes. In the end, it's up to your own strategy, where and how many GA lines you want to add. There's no fixed rule for this. Some of you might want maybe one, and others might want 10 of those. The thing is, you have the flexibility now. Joyce is asking, what does ASP do that ASB cannot do at the moment? Well, ASP still gives you better backtesting than ASB. I mean, if you change something in Algo Studio Pro, you immediately see it being reflected on your chart. All the statistics will update. So for strategy design, that's really very, very powerful. And in ASB, you don't have that at the moment. And Zachary, again, do you want to dump all indicators in one GE or one indicator in each GE? I guess that's up to you, what you can do. I think you just need to play with this and discover it. It's very powerful, very flexible, and there is not one way to use it. It depends a little bit on your own needs and your own strategy, your base strategy, and where you want to put in those GA blocks and how many indicators you want to give it. So yeah. Yeah, let's go to the GT score, which is another thing we added. As you probably know, you can already optimize on many criteria: Sharpe ratio, net profit, K ratio, profit factor, you name it. It's probably in there.
As well as create your own.
As well as create your own, yeah. And we added a new one, which is the GT score, the golden ticket score, which is based on very recent research done by a guy who published a paper on it. And what it does is you can a little bit compare it with a chair, which has four legs. It's the same with GT score. It has four legs, and if one of those legs of your chair is not very strong, and you sit on the chair, then the whole chair breaks and you fall on the floor. And that's the same thing with the GT score. It measures four metrics, and if one of those four fails, then the entire GT score fails. And the idea behind it is not to get you the most maximum profit. The idea behind this is to give you the most robust strategy, which has the most likely chance to survive in live markets. That's the whole idea. And now, of course, you want to know what are then those four legs. Well, one, of course, is the profits per trade. That's something we want to include. So on average, it measures if you are actually winning. Very simple. The second one is, are you beating the market? For example, if the S&P is up 20% and your strategy only makes 5%, then yeah, basically you have added nothing. You could have just bought and go home. That would be a better option than to run your strategy. So the GT score compares your strategy against a buy and hold. And if you don't beat buy and hold, then basically your strategy gets disapproved. The third leg is that it measures how good your equity curve is. It should be a steady line going up. It should not be a roller coaster where you have huge wins, huge drawdowns, wins again, drawdowns again. So that's the third leg. And finally, and that's probably one of the nicest things I think, is it's measuring how bad are your losing days. So are you losing the same amount uh, every day? So, or is there a huge variance in it? Do you have giant losers and small losers, or are your losers on average the same? And combining all those four in one metric is basically what the GT score does. And it's becoming one of my favorite optimization criteria at the moment, combined with all the other things we have in the strategy builder and in Algo Studio Pro. It really improves the results dramatically, and it's something you won't find anywhere else at the moment. And no other company is providing this. The same with the hybrid strategy templates we are now offering as well. So yeah, we're pretty pleased.
The way you described it to me is that it's going to make every effort to give you a much more realistic
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
back test. So the point, right? The challenge with anything that's back testing is how close are we to live trading experience, right? And trying to avoid the curve fitting that has plagued this type of algo design since the inception of it. How do we avoid that? And you can see, I mean, just every update is another effort from TDI Dev to reduce that, or to address that issue. So everything from interleaving the in sample, outer sample, to adding the incubation, to now adding the GT score. It's all in that same mindset of how do we give you the most realistic back test, and what can you expect. So I mean, now if I'm back testing, I mean, I pretty much go to the GT score first. If I can get a good score there, then I know I'm on the right track here, because that's going to be, I don't know if we want to say it's the most conservative, but it's going to be the most realistic. So you can
Yeah.
see here, I'm looking at this. I mean, there's a pretty good gap here between some of these. Now, the second one here is giving me this huge bump here, and I'm looking at number of trades here, and I'd probably just looking at that, even though this has a higher total profit, I've got a much bigger sample size here. Monte Carlo is still excellent. I'd be inclined to go with where I have more trades, if I was thinking about trading it, as long as I still have a good to an excellent in the Monte Carlo. This just keeps jumping on me here. But that's a really good one to start with, because it's going to give you the most realistic, well, every effort has been made to give you the most realistic back test here relative to what we can see in sample, out of sample, and then the incubation period. Oh shit, hang on.
Yeah, and I think that's also one of the main differentiators between Auto Strategy Builder and some of the products you will see in the competition, because you can see there's a lot of competitors with products which create strategies for you, but no one is looking at how to prevent curve fitting. So all you get is strategies which look good in backtest and they fill the moment you
That's
do them
right.
live. It's yeah.
And they're
There's
coming
nothing like this.
fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
and add the AI component, and they're like, "Look at my AI create a perfect strategy, right? Oh, it looks good in the back test. Now try and trade it." And that's again, I want to emphasize that every update has been focused on addressing how do we reduce the curve fitting, how do we give you, you don't want to see something like this and go, "Wow, this thing's going to do 5 grand," and you go in with because once you see it, it kind of sets the expectation in your mind's eye. Well, anything less than that, then this thing's bullshit. Right? No, no, no. That may be that's one you'd want to dig into a little bit more. Again, only 61 trades. So that's one that I would want to investigate. Why is it so much
But it's
better?
it's also like depending on the number of days you load it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I don't want a strategy which takes 20 or 30 trades a day. So if you loaded 30 days of data, which if you subtract the weekends will probably end up like 25, 20 days, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I have in here, 30 days.
Yeah, then I'm fine with seeing like 40, 50 trades because that's meaning that I got one, two trades a day, which is perfectly enough. And if I want to see backtest results with 100 trades, I just load more data. I go to 60 days. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm
That
not.
that's what I use kind of as a mile marker. If it's under 100, it's teasing me. I want to see it get over 100, make sure it's good. I'm
Yeah, but
surprised you'll go with
I
under 100.
no, no, no. I fully agree. I want to see more than 100, but I'm trying to make the point that it's related to the number of days you loaded. Because you
That's
can
right.
have 100 trades in one day, but yeah, you wouldn't trade that, right? Commission would be crazy. And
Right, of course, and you can limit those also down here in your trading rules, right? So I consecutive losers, I always set that 3 to 5. I don't want any more than that. You could
mm,
do the same thing with number of total trades, count limit, bars between trades. I mean, you've got so much control over the algo you're creating, right? So bars since last trade, I mean, you're optimizing between 1 bar and 25 bars. Right? That's going to make a pretty big difference. Now, those are off by default, but if you wanted to be more precise, or if it's coming up with too many trades, these are places where you can reduce the number of trades, which may, often will be a good thing.
yeah, yeah,
But you you
totally
you
agree.
got that flexibility. Um, I don't. I think those are the major. You'll note here on this that I did not enable trading hours because I wanted to get more trades, and that's I think what we need to do here, Erwin, is we need to pick one and go through because in our agenda for the day, we got to show them how to load it into Ninja. So
Yeah, we can save one. That's no problem. There is a couple of questions. Is there a GT score column in the leaderboard? I think there is if you select columns. I think I did add it. If not, I will add it because I can see that's very useful. Is there a GT score in here? If not, we have to add it. No, I don't
where
see it.
where would it go?
Oh, just in the list here. But I don't know. It's not there yet. So we need to add that because that might be good to add.
Yeah,
Um,
and then you could sort based on that.
yeah. So Level is asking on ASB, can we optimize the stop loss and take profit in ticks? No, you cannot. The stop loss is basically depending on the strategy style you are choosing. So for now, it's unspecified, but you can also set it to trending, mean reversion, and scalping. And the stop loss will depend on what you choose. And the same with the take profit. For example, if you set trending, then it probably won't use a fixed target. It will use trading stop. But you cannot set it, and that's being done on purpose. For us, in order to be able to evaluate like 100 strategies per second, that means we cannot have intra-bar trailing and stop losses. And because for that we would need to produce good backtests, you would need to look at intra-bar tick data, and then the speed would be dramatic. So you can do that in ASP
Yeah, I was going to say that's what ASP is for.
because that's only looking at one strategy, but here we are doing 40,000 strategies, 100 strategies per second. So we cannot use intra-bar tick data. But we do want very realistic backtests, and that's why we have not. That's why we cannot, for example, say stop loss and tick and take profit in ticks, because it could be that you have a bar where both your stop loss and take profit could be hit if the bar is big enough. And without looking at the intra-bar data, you have no idea what comes first. So yeah. And
Yeah,
also, I strongly advise, how do you say it, recommend against using your stop loss in ticks, because you are making your strategy dependent on market conditions. If you had a strategy 2 years ago in ticks, if you run that now, it would probably not work anymore just because of that, because markets have gone up so much. You rather like a strategy with dynamic based ticks and stop losses like ATRs and risk to reward,
mhm.
because that works in every market and even across instruments. I've seen strategies like this being created on ES which run perfectly fine on GC or CL just
Mm.
because it's market independent.
The closest you could get is an exit template, if I'm not mistaken, with when you're in the strategy managing strategies.
No, no, the strategy builder doesn't have exit
Oh,
templates.
I thought it had an exit template like
No.
ASP. Okay, so well, there you go. There's someone was asking about the differences. I think that was Joyce.
That's one of the
Uh,
other differences. Yeah, yeah.
okay, that's good to know. Okay, good. All right, so I'll go ahead and just take number one here. Um, First, I want to save this as a Ninja script because we're going to load it in Ninja.
Yeah.
And we're going to call this Arctic Retribution. Okay. Now, this is important if you're seeing this for the first time. This really helped me the first time I saw it because you've got to go through this sequence here. So often what I'll do is just, if you need to, just grab a picture of it so you can refer to it. Or if you're like, okay, how do I do this again? Just so you know, that's something you can do because you do have to follow this sequence to get it into the Ninja Strategy Trader Strategy Analyzer. So we're going to open it. We're going to go to the editor. We're going to find the strategy, load it in the list, and then we have to compile it. So I think I can push this off here. Now I'm going to go to new.
Can you show that? It's now out of
Oh
screen.
yeah, I just went to
Yeah,
Ninja Script editor,
yeah,
right? Under
exactly.
the
Yeah.
new. Okay, so now we're going to go to
You just right
stra-
click and press compile.
Oh, I thought I had to specifically pick
No,
the
you can
one.
just,
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's even faster, right? I was just going to specifically pick the one
no,
we
you can
just
just hit
created.
compile and then
Oh,
after a few seconds it will be compiled.
see, coders know this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So for all of us, I get in here and I go, "Oh God, that's over me." So we're good to go here. So we have that. So that's compiled. Then we can add the strategy to a chart. So we're done here. Once it's compiled and you hear that little whistle, you're good. You're
Yeah,
good to go here.
and that's now I think an important distinction you want to make. If you wanted to live trade the strategy, just go to strategies indeed and add it to your chart, so you can find it and make sure to select the right trading account. It's now Sim 101, but that's where you put your trading account, and you have to enable it, which is different than an indicator. If you don't enable it, it won't be running. So you can, yeah, press enable. Okay.
Got to enable that, right? And I'm just going to keep it in a sim account, and
Yeah.
then
And then
exit
just
on.
press OK.
We can.
That's all you need to do. And now it's running and it's live trading. And you can see it also in the Ninja Strategy panel. If you can,
You mean this?
yeah, there it is. You can see it's running. If it's green and
Yeah.
yellow, then it's running. Yeah.
So yep, it is running. So
So
this
that's
is
basically
this.
how you live trade it.
You can
There's
see the
Yeah, you can
little
see the
arrows.
little buy and sell arrows, and it will open a trade if one of the conditions do runs. If you go
It's been
back to
busy.
this, if you can go back to the strategy at settings.
Strategy settings.
Yeah.
You want me to disable it?
Yeah, you have to disable it and go up. Go up. Yeah. There you can see all the settings. So if you want, you can change the settings. But of course, you did find the strategy with the results with these settings. So if you change those settings, for example, you say, well, I'm going to change my stop loss or my take profit, then that would work. But your backtest results will be different, of course.
Right, right. Do you want to
They-
trade what you back tested or do you want to trade something else? As soon as you make a change, you're trading something else. Like I just went from one lot to two lot. Okay, now I'm
Yeah,
trading something
that's
else.
fine. That's fine. That won't change the results. But yeah, anything
Well,
else you change, that of course will change the results. But
if you're a prop account, right, you probably want to keep it as close at end of session. You could see the trading rules that I built into it here are present, right? So
yeah,
all of that's the same. So we hit apply. So now that is running live
yeah.
on that account. And we'll see. It's been busy, right? A lot of trades.
Dennis asks, is it not easier to trade the algo without the trader? Yeah, if you have Algo Studio Pro, then that's a perfectly fine solution. But yeah, not everybody has Algo Studio Pro. So for those people, they can run it like this.
Yeah, this is a
And also,
nice alternative.
if you want to run this on multiple machines, then this might be a better option. You don't need extra licenses for the auto trader. So
Oh, good point. Yeah,
and
yeah,
we also have some customers with coding knowledge, and they like to get the source code and modify the code and play with it and do it like that. So can we go back to the strategy analyzer now? Because this is for if you want to live trade it.
you mean here the
No, no, no,
perform?
no, 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 no. We go to the Ninja control panel, which you had.
Pardon me. Yeah, sorry.
Where we have it?
Yeah, I got
Oh,
it.
okay, so we opened the Ninja strategy analyzer from the Ninja control panel. Yeah, you select the strategy,
That's it.
and then of course you no, you don't change any of the settings, huh? Because then we get
Yeah,
different results.
I've got it's going to give me 90 days. No, I didn't change. I just added the one that we just made. I didn't touch anything else.
So you select the instrument. That was MES, I think,
Did I not? Did it
and the
not come
data
up?
series. Yeah,
Uh,
MES.
where the hell are we?
There, it's right there.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, you can select tick replay, which is
Do it.
needed because and include commission, of course. Without commission, it doesn't make much sense. And now, if
No.
you quickly go open the strategy builder, I think you still have it open, the strategy
Yeah.
builder. Then
Yeah.
in the status bar, you can see it runs 30 days from 22 March to 22 April. It's in the bottom. Yeah. So that's what we
22.
go. Yeah, 22 March to 23 April. So that's what we're going to put in the strategy analyzer as well. So March 22. Okay. Yeah, till today. And now we can press run and it will run a back test against the strategy. And hopefully we should see the same results.
Should be close.
Yeah, sometimes normally the strategy analyzer is even a little bit more optimistic about the results.
This okay, so it's using this, but it came up with just the data, with just
Yeah,
three.
it's still running.
Yeah,
It's not updated yet, so we have to
running the back
wait
test.
for it. In the meantime, Leval has a question. When will Algo Studio Pro be able to load on NinjaScript? That's a good question. Soon. I'm not going to mention any dates. The problem is with exporting to NinjaScript from Algo Studio Pro. It's very feature rich, and we have to do everything also in Ninja scripts. So you can imagine that the scripts we create can become much more complex than we create from the strategy builder. But we are working on it, and we'll release it when it's done.
Well, this is,
Yeah, this it's not very fast, the strategy analyzer. Yeah, but
you're seeing the advantage of doing your back test in ASB.
yeah, I think that's also one of the biggest benefits from Algo Studio Pro, right? Immediate feedback. I mean, if
Yeah.
you use one of our competitors, they require to do all the back testing with the strategy analyzer, which yeah, it takes ages. Imagine doing this and then changing one thing, having to recompile or whatever, and running it again. It will take you ages to do something.
Yeah. To just get one result. I mean, you already can
Yeah.
feel the pain of letting that thing spin. Okay, do we have any other questions we haven't hit while we're waiting for this to complete? Shouldn't be too much longer.
No, I think it will be done soon, and then hopefully we see a good result. Because
Yeah, I hope we want them to be close. I'm just looking here.
yeah, we do.
We got one new question.
We do.
Oh, that's a good one from Dennis. He's asking about when they get the updates.
If you have both HB license, we will end up getting the updated. Yeah, the update is already in the. Oh, this is not good. Yeah, this is why it's still beta. Um,
So
uh,
we did get a different result here with
yeah,
this.
we did get a review result, and that's why it's still beta. It's in the beta channel. We had to do a lot of refactoring on the Ninja script part, so probably there is still an issue here. It's strange because I did run it for a lot of strategies and it worked out, but this one is still not okay. So if you send me
Well,
this
they
one after the webinar, I can look at it and fix it.
Yeah, I had this happen once, and then I did it again, and then it was perfect, right? So again, there's beta for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. First one didn't match, and then I sent that to you, and you said try it again, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Uh, it could I didn't have
Oh,
trading
wait. No, I
hours.
already know what's happening. You're still running an older version. This is not the latest version I sent you.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. I
Yeah,
think. Okay.
this
Send
is
me the strategy and we will look at it.
264. I know what I'm running is the beta version.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
did we add Lucid Prop Firm preset for the in
No,
the
it's not in there yet, but you can fill in the.
yeah, you can manually add it.
You can manually add it. It's
Yeah,
no
it takes
problem.
5 seconds, right? Just putting in their drawdown, which and
Yeah,
they're a
the
good
drawdown and
one.
the account and account size.
Yeah, they're a good one because that's end of day, not intraday, not trailing. Okay. Should we let's see how we're doing on we got a little time. Any other questions in here? I think we're good on that. Well, we could try.
Now, I do have a couple of things we could mention because
Okay.
one of the things is, and this is also could be one of the reasons why you see this, that the backtest results live are different from what you're seeing is because of some of the indicators you might have used, or because of the bar types you're using. Now, in this case, it's the 1 minute bar, so that's fine. But I see people using Renko bars and Heikin-Ashi bars and other type of bars which are basically fake. I mean, if you open a Renko, it looks great on the chart, but that's for a reason. That's because it's fake. The opening prices of Renkos and
Yeah.
Heikin-Ashi are fake. So if you are going to backtest a strategy using a fake bar type, then your results won't match the live trading, of course.
I think the other thing, or when cause I had trading hours disabled here, and when we ran this, I had them enabled. So that could be why we had the difference there as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have to do the same.
I I
Thing.
I I I reloaded one of mine here, and I noticed that it was trading hours were off, so that could be why we have a different result. Um, be my guess, but again, it's beta, so we're giving people a glimpse as to where this is going.
Yeah.
But it's very close. I mean, this is likely released this week, assuming we don't have a snag here between the two.
Yeah. And the other thing people need to be very careful of is if you are trading a strategy in NinjaTrader on an account. So, for example, we now added this strategy to our charts. It's live trading at the moment. Sam did add the toolbar, so you don't see it running, but if you didn't add the toolbar, you could see it in the top of the window that it's running. You cannot have other strategies running on the same account in Ninja and the same instrument. So if you do that, they will, yeah, one of them can go long and the other can go short, and NinjaTrader doesn't support them. So never run multiple strategies on the same account on the same instrument. That won't work. That's just a limitation of NinjaTrader. But sadly, NinjaTrader won't warn you about this. And the same is with manual trading. Never manual trade on a chart which has strategies running, because it will also influence the strategy itself. So the best thing we think is just run it on a VPS and do not touch it when it's trading. And do your manual trading and things like that in another account on another PC. Probably the best.
Yeah, well, and the best thing about a VPS is you can run overnight.
Exactly. That's
Right,
also.
you don't have to worry about it, having a problem. That's
Yeah.
that's the big, and then you can really diversify.
Yeah. I had a customer this week who was complaining that the strategies were all exiting and stopping, and yeah, we looked into his log files, and the guy had 32 strategies running on the chart, and
Oh,
he had like six strategies on the same chart, and he was also manual trading on the same charts. So yeah, there was a lot that was a lot of problems because NinjaTrader just cannot handle it.
well, there's still I don't match here, so it's something in the beta is off between the two.
Yeah, if you press save strategy, that's maybe also good that we see this now, because now people also know that. No, if you go to the auto strategy builder,
Oh, out here? Okay.
I don't see it yet. Yeah, just press save strategy. Yeah, and then okay, and then you send it over to me, and then that gives me enough info with MES
Oh,
one.
so you're asking me to send that to you after we get off
Yeah, and
here?
then I can just
Yeah.
check it and if
Okay.
needed fix it. So if any of you uh, run into something like this, then do the same. Yeah.
Got a question here from a couple asking about the GT score. Oh, I think that was earlier. Can we see that in the column? So yes on that.
Yeah.
How does the ASP run multiple algo strategies within the ASP on the same market and account?
It's a good one,
Okay.
Joyce. It doesn't, you can load multiple strategies in ASP in the auto trader, but only one of them will be active. So it's watching all the buy and sell signals. But then if one of them opens a trade, it will not open any new trades until that trade is closed. So only one of them can trade at the same time within the auto trader, but you can load multiple.
Well, that's in there. Many VPS out of stock in Chicago. Interesting. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
more and more
yeah. The
algo.
question is, do you really need a VPS in Chicago? I mean, I get it why they market it because of the low latencies uh, and the fast connection to the exchange. But in my opinion, if the latency and the connection to your change is going to make or break your strategy,
Yeah,
then that's the problem because you are basically in high frequency trading territory.
yeah.
And the strategies we built here and Monte Carlo test, they have slippage built in. So I rather have a strategy which is not relying on very good connections and being close to the exchange.
Yeah, you just want it to be up and running and not have, your Wi-Fi goes out or something that would create
Of
a
course,
problem.
yeah, it needs to be a good one, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're out there if you need one. A couple of seconds. Oh, that can happen. Well, that happens with Ninja. If there's a lot of volume, it does happen. That's why we built the lag into the toolbar because here we have, almost a second lag. I don't know what the volatility looks like. It's not bad. It looks like we're going to range today. Looks like we're not doing much.
No, I'm running like 8 strategies now on just a cheap VPS, and it's doing fine. I'm running it on MNQ and C micro CL micro GC. It's doing fine. I don't see any lag. But then again, my strategies don't use indicators which are using very high performance. So I'm not using order flow in my strategies because yeah, that's taking a lot of more capacity than normal indicators. Yeah, you are able to run Ninja Trainer on a VPS. Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay, I think
If
we got
you
we got
one more,
everybody.
I think.
Oh, we got a couple new ones.
If we optimize indicators on ASB or Algo Studio Pro, can we view the settings it optimized on certain indicators? Yeah, you can save it to ASP and then load it in there, and you see all the settings it used. So that's no problem. Of course,
Yeah, if you have both, right? That's what I do. I
yeah.
always go to ASP.
You can of course also save it to Ninja script, and then in the Ninja script you will see all the parameters. You cannot see it in Strategy Builder itself.
But here and here.
Yeah, yeah, those are basically the two options. You cannot see it right here. In the beginning, I had them in the strategy description, so it said like close is greater than EMA 21, which works really nice. But then people put in the footprint indicator with like 200
Oh,
settings,
yeah,
so that became unreadable.
yeah,
So I put it like this now. Yeah,
yeah. That works, right? Because you know
yeah,
what you built in there.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, oh, this is nice. You added this strategy template plus three GA slide. That's new, right? So we can see what was in there.
yeah,
That's good. That's a nice one.
yeah.
Okay, I think we got it. Any other questions? You still need Zach.
Yeah, I know, Zachary. That's still on my to-do list. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I think we covered it here. Will there be, this is one, we're still in beta, right? So you're seeing it's coming, right? We're just getting nailed down and tightened up. You saw, an issue we had in the Ninja strategy, but there that's a work in progress that should be, again, very soon this will be available for you guys. Oh man, there's one. There's an OG calling you baby whale. He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, and unless there's any other questions, right? At least you're getting a quick look at it. Two things just in review. But if you own it or if you're trialing testing, the GT score would be one to not, miss, right? I would include that if you're trialing a couple of things. Be sure to run. And I asked Erwin because it occurred to me, well, hey, maybe I do like 70% GT and 20%, net profit or whatever the case may be. His suggestion was not to blend that with anything because it's already doing four different things. It's already testing four things. So run that by itself, unlike, what I did down here where I combined um oh, what did I do here, right? So I did net Sharpe ratio and net profit, right? Just combining my own, where I thought, well, why don't I just do net profit and GT score, right? Suggestion was not to do that. So that and then managing these templates, right? This is really, really, really powerful. It's taking ASB to a whole new level. So hopefully you just have to do it once or twice and get clear on it and say, okay, what exactly am I doing here? Right, just create something. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll have this up for those that couldn't be here live. So this will be available to review.